This video once again is brought to you by the one and only Squarespace. From online stores to marketing tools and analytics, Squarespace is your one-stop shop to building a beautiful online presence and running your business. Hello, and welcome back to GGTV, and more specifically, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a very sunny and pollen-filled day. I am dying with hay fever at the moment, so I do apologise for my my runny orifices and my red eyes. Anyway, that side today is a very exciting day because today I am finally collecting my Porsche 912. Now this is a car that has been absent on the channel for about, I would say, 7 months. I actually bought it last summer and I took it to the place where I am behind me. We'll get on to that in a second. I actually took it there immediately as soon as I bought it, saying, guys, what on earth have I bought? What is it? What's wrong with it? Give me the bad news. They did an entire rundown at the time and produced a 38 jobs list. That video was on my channel way back when. That was the initial diagnosis stage. We are now, fast forward, summer 2020, and I'm collecting it. So, without further ado then, I'm going to introduce you back onto the channel, my Porsche 912. I want to preface this with the location. I am at a place called 912 Revival Cars. They are a 912 specialist. They are the 912 specialist in the UK, and this is their current unit. They are actually moving at the moment, so I can't show you too much of what's going on inside, but they are going to be moving to their new unit very soon, and I hope to poke my head in and traumatise them all with my 912 at some point, because I think they're a bit sick of the sight of it, but I'm hoping to go and check them out and see what they're up to then. I'll leave their website below because they've got some very cool 912, I think, just come into stock by the time this video's gone out. I think there's a Targa coming and there's another one, so if you want a 912, these guys really are best in the business and really good at what they do. They specialise in 912s. They're called 912 Revival. They are based near Heathrow anyway, like Staines Way, so if you're around that way, do give them a call and see what they've got in stock. And if you've got 912, obviously they'll work on it. We've got one here that's just come in, actually in a bit more of a state than my one, but we're not here to see that. We're here to see my 912. It's right in front of me. Here she is then, the product of 6 or 7 months worth of hard work. Obviously we've had a pandemic in the middle of that, so it's not been solid work throughout, but here she is. Let's say in her former glory. I will go into why you're probably looking at it and thinking, that doesn't look restored, TG. What on earth are you on about? Because this car had serious issues. I bought this online from a seller I found on Auto Trader, I think, or Classic Car and Driver, whatever it was. But I basically bought this blind. I turned up on his driveway in Bath and I said, yeah, it's green. It said it would be in the pictures. I'll have it, thanks very much. And then I just drove home. I didn't look underneath it, I didn't do anything. I just knew I wanted an early 912 in Irish green with matching numbers, and it was, and that was enough for me. So I just drove home in it down the M4. But there were grave issues with it. I'm just going to go inside the car here because we've got the paperwork. It goes into the issues with this car. So as you can see, each one of these literally looks like a kind of minor bullet point, but actually they are huge jobs. I think there was a combination of 65 hours and 35 hours spent on this car. We will see on here. So this is the parts alone for one half of it, and this was 65 hours worth of work. And then this was the original invoice in November as well, with all the initial works, just to make it even vaguely road safe before I brought it back for the main body of the work. This was another 35 hours, so these are all the parts I had to buy for it as well. I'm pleased to say though, that is now all done. And you all will be looking at this car and thinking, Tom, it's still an absolute mess. You haven't had any work done on this whatsoever. I haven't had the interior redone. So the interior looks the same. It's still original. It's still got its Porsche Club Italia little badge there. Momo Prototipo steering wheel there. And it's all pretty much exactly as it was. However, Before, there was quite a serious issue. Underneath the mats here, you could pretty much put your foot through the floor, and now you can't. It's got new floor pans under there, which is all very exciting. I know this sounds very boring, but actually it's quite important to have floor pans that don't see the road underneath. Also under here, we've got new floor pans as well. And actually underneath the pedal box, that was coming through the bottom of the car. So you can see the bolts that held the pedal box in through from the underneath of the car, which I'm no mechanic, but that is not good news. Externally then, many of you will remember there was a huge hole here where rust had just eaten through this back panel. That has actually now been all kind of filed, sanded back, taken right back, cutting all the rust out to the point there was a big hole here. I'll put a picture of that on the screen, mid-job by the power of technology, and that has been filled in and then resprayed. It's had a sympathetic respray, so as you can see, that's new paint on that wing there, but they've actually blended it in to match the kind of more matte, milky, old, patinaed paint of the rest of the car. This is original Irish green paint from 1966, so it's not mint, it's not fresh, it's not designed to be. There's all sorts of kind of imperfections in the paint. There's a few bubbles here and there, but that is how I want it. I don't want it looking kind of concourse and looks like something that someone spent billions of hours just respraying and rebuilding. That's not what I wanted from this car. I want it period correct, and I want it legit. I want it with patina on it, like when I buy a vintage watch. I want it original. I don't want it all refurbed, otherwise I'd just go and buy a brand new car, and I have. So I think they've done an incredible job of that, and that was the main external job that actually really needed doing. The rest of it's all but invisible. Unless you really know what you're talking about, there's not really much you can see. However, when I brought this car to them, inside here, this was pretty much non-existent. Again, I will put some pictures on the screen, but this is all new. This is all kind of solid now and rebuilt, but they've pretty much had to fabricate loads of stuff from new, and you can see where that is now new. Another thing that's been done then is the fitting of Connie shocks. They've been done. I'm on the floor, so I'm going to get out of there. But big shout out to Connie for their help with this. I'll leave their website below as well, and it should drive a lot better. This was absolutely smashed to pieces here and rattling around, and now it should drive a hell of a lot better. So huge shout to them. And pretty much everything they touched underneath the headlights, every cabling, every bit of conduit, piping, everything was disintegrated. So they've had a huge job on their hands here, and I've actually gone and apologized to one of the mechanics. Also in here, this is all new as well. This was also non-existent. It completely disintegrated and was hell. When I told Max here that I'd driven this down the M4 from Bath doing 80 down the motorway, the colour drained from his face. He actually did not know how this car got back in one piece, but I'm pleased to say it's now structurally sound. The whole way underneath then, it's all brand new, and some of it you can't actually buy. So you can buy floor pans, but some of it from the pedal box onwards you can't actually buy, so they had to custom fabricate that as well. So they've had a huge job on their hands. And Max actually told me, I forced him, I said, is this the worst you've ever seen? And he mumbled yes. So yeah, the worst the worst 912 they've ever seen. But I don't really care. I know a lot of you will be chiming in the comments and saying, you know, they're not worth a huge amount of money, blah blah blah. I didn't buy this to get rich. I bought this because I want one. I think it's a cool car. It's a really nice mix of the 356 and 911, and it's a really important part of Porsche's history. So for those that don't know, this has essentially got the engine from the 356, which is the little kind of VW looking thing, for those that really don't know what a 356 is, in a 911 shell. These were actually kind of seen as a better driving car than the 911s of the same era, because it was said that they had less weight at the back and they were actually a little bit more nippy, and they didn't kind of kill people as often. So these were actually sought after slightly more in the early days, and these outsold 911s when these came out. This is a really important car for Porsche. And in recent years, these were kind of neglected in that these weren't the cars that people wanted. So they dropped a lot in value, and a lot of them had really poor standard repairs on them. Case in point, this. They dropped down to kind of 10-15 grand, I think. So a lot of the repairs that went into these cars were actually 10-15 grand level repairs. Hence why a load of them are actually a complete state. This is an early car. I believe it's probably built in possibly 1965, but sold in 1966. It was registered in 1966, but I've been told that some of these features here, the dash or the key, something like that, is actually a 1965 feature. So they might well have been built then, but then sold in 1966. This is obviously not the original steering wheel. This is the steering wheel you see in a lot of kind of retro rebuilds and resto modded Porsches. The original wheel is very cool. They're about 600 quid on eBay. I may well get one, but it's about the same size as one that you would find in a ship. So I'm not really kind of sure. I quite like that vibe. There is a present coming for the gear knob. I've got a gear knob coming made of beechwood from the 917, and more importantly to match the Carrera GT. So that is coming as well. But it's going to be cool to have them together. Other things that need doing in this car, I'm not 100% sure on the seats. This was a barn find, so rats had eaten through the original seats. The previous owner put these in there. They're a bit basic, bit basic, so I may get some nice kind of bucket type of vibes in there with some rivets. The back seats though are original, as are the carpets and whatnot. It's had a bit of modernisation with that head unit there. There's some Bluetooth garb going on in there, but I may well get the Porsche Classic system in there as well with a bit of CarPlay. It looks like the original unit, but there's mad tech in there. Dial wise, this is all original as well. And as with these, you've got these silly little windows. So when you drive along, you get a little bit of breeze, and you also get a normal window with handles there. Again, seen better days, but that does still work for some reason. It's got an alarm in it now as well, so it's good to go really. Other points to note, it's got a racing exhaust on it, and that actually spits flames out the back. Whether or not it's supposed to do that, I don't know. Down the line then, this car is probably going to come back to 912 Revival cars, probably over the winter, and they're going to work on some of the engine bits as well. We've had some work done on the engine, change the fluids, make sure there's no leaks, any gaskets can be replaced, have been replaced, and overall it's pretty strong. It's a good runner still, but in terms of kind of making the engine as brand new and strong as possible, it probably does need a little bit of work. So that'll be coming back over the winter. I'll try and keep my voice down so the guys inside don't hear the fact that this thing's coming back, and some of the wiring and stuff can probably do with a little bit of updating, but other than that, it's strong, it's good to go. I'm going to put some good miles on it. Whether or not I'm brave enough to take this to Europe, I don't know. Max stresses it's probably going to be okay, but I'm not sure. I don't know whether I fancy or not being broken down in the middle of nowhere in Italy, but that might be part of the fun. At some point then, there may well be some Modball madness as well, so there may be some classic stuff with Modball Classic, in which this thing will probably be driven to the N500 in Scotland or thereabouts, or to some iconic driving roads. So if you're keen on the classic stuff and you've got classics and you want to get involved, then do stay tuned on that topic. As I said at the start of the video then, this video is brought to you by the one and only Squarespace. Essentially, Squarespace enable you to build your dream website or business. And there are loads of different features that help you build a website that is not only effective, but also looks amazing. The first of which is that Squarespace actually appreciate that most people that are building these things are busy bees. So they actually enable you to backlog content on there, meaning that when you've got a spare afternoon, for example, or you've got a spare evening, you can backload a load of content on there, and then you can time release it over time. You can also fully integrate your social media into the website. You can also fully integrate your social media on there. All major platforms can be fully pushed through onto the site. There are also tools enabling you to successfully set up email campaigns, which are an extremely important part of e-commerce. You can run subscription models through there as well, much like I do with CrepChief Notify. That enables you to build recurring payments and a monthly subscriber base as well, which adds huge amounts of value to your business and extremely important. Another thing that's also really important, and also the nerdy side of me enjoys, is the fact that you can delve into the analytics of each page on your site. You can analyze things like bounce rate, that's the amount of people that hit your site then instantly disappear. You don't want that to be high. And also the amount of click-through on various articles, blog posts, various pages, and also assess kind of where people are visiting on each page, what's getting the most clicks. And those sorts of things really enable you to finely tune your website and make sure they're really effective and getting the conversions that you deserve and that you want. So if you've ever thought about starting your own website, your own online business, now is the time. Head over to the link below, you start your free trial, and when you're ready to get going properly, you get 10% off your first order. You don't need any prior website knowledge. It guides you through all of it step by step. Get involved, and as always, I love seeing what you guys have been building and creating, so keep sending me your websites, your businesses that you're all building. DM them to me on Instagram. I love it. Carry on with that, crack on, hit the link below, and good luck. For now then, I'm going to jump in at my 912, go for a little pootle, take it home, maybe go for a little razz around London in it first. But thank you so much for watching. As I say, do check out 912 Revival Cars website, because that is below, and I think by the time this video goes live, they've got a couple of beauties in stock. I think these are seriously undervalued, and I think these are going to follow 356s very soon. Once the clean ones and the good ones disappear off the market, these are going to start being sought after. They're an extremely important and cool part of Porsche history, and as we know, all cars that are important to Porsche history are going through the roof. A 911 of this age is over 100 grand. A 356 of around this age, a few years older, is well over 100 grand. And these, I think you can pick them up for about 40 odd, 50 odd, which is an absolute bargain. And if you're buying it from this place, then jobs are good. Anyway, do keep me posted. If you go for a 912, I do want to know. If you've already got a 912, DM me on Instagram. We can do some meetups. I'll do some meetups on the Roadster app as well. And maybe some 912 meetups, 911, 60s, 911s as well. You'll also be welcome. Maybe some 356s as well. So I want to do more classic stuff. So classic car people, holler at your boy. Or don't if you don't want me involved. But thank you so much for watching. Do subscribe. Stay tuned. And I'll see you all very, very soon. I'm going to fire up and let's listen. See you soon. Bye.